People are going to be like, okay, I already know I got one autoimmune disease and multiple symptoms, or I don't have a diagnosis. And I now have made the mindset shift that I have some sort of systemic autoimmune or inflammatory illness. What do I do? What are the action steps that I can take right now? What can you do about this when either you don't know what your diagnosis is, or you already have a diagnosis and you're still searching for multiple other diagnoses? How do you break out of this? This is going to be probably blasphemy to some people, all of you that are really attached to looking for a diagnosis. In a lot of ways, for me, a diagnosis doesn't even matter. I'm going to repeat that. A diagnosis doesn't even matter. Because I look at this, I look at something and I say, hey, if you have 5, 6, 10 mystery symptoms and you've already gone down that route and nobody's giving you an answer because they're not able to, there is something going on that's a chronic, either inflammatory condition or an autoimmune condition that's attacking different targets in your body that somebody can't diagnose. You already know this. This is what I call the mystery disease syndrome or autoimmune syndrome or an inflammatory disease syndrome, okay? We already know you've got a systemic, like a whole body issue going on that's inflammation-based, that's autoimmune-based, right? That's already a given. We already know that. Who cares what the name is? What I care is, how do you stop it? What are some things that you can do to stop this? Number one is recognition that you have some sort of systemic inflammatory or autoimmune illness that's attacking several targets or multiple targets. Once you have that, you can actually move on. And the reason you can move on is the question is no longer what's the diagnosis, right? And you can keep searching for a diagnosis, that's fine, but that doesn't give you a solution. Because the most important question isn't what's the diagnosis, it's how do I stop this crap? How can I stop this attack on all these different targets? And that's where the big focus is power thing. And I'm going to say, when you can make the mindset shift from what's my diagnosis or what am I naming these diagnoses, when you can shift from that to what I call solutions, what is the solution? Okay. That's a totally different ball of wax. And that's the only way with which you're going to be able to stop this shit. Kelly's saying, yes. Lisa says, please stop this from happening. Another Facebook user says, my doctor told me I'm insanely healthy. Bullshit. Okay. Despite the fact that I have IBS, psoriasis, and insomnia. Your doctor says you're insanely healthy because he or she can't diagnose all the hundreds or thousands of targets that are actually under attack. So then what? If they don't have a test to diagnose it, you're insanely healthy or you're cray-cray. Only medical conclusion, and I call bullshit to that. And I'm going to say I'm the opposite of that, which is, come on, we already know you have an inflammatory process. We already know you have an autoimmune process. So what's the solution? Okay. So that's a mindset shift, moving from stop asking what the diagnosis and stop searching for it, and really focus is power on what is the solution. People are going to be like, okay, I already know I got one autoimmune disease and multiple symptoms, or I don't have a diagnosis. And I now have made the mindset shift that I have some sort of systemic autoimmune or inflammatory illness. What do I do? What are the action steps that I can take right now? So what I'm going to tell you is that the conventional approach to chronic systemic autoimmune or inflammatory illness is god awful. Okay. That's another awareness right there, which is that the only way that regular doctors are trained, and I know because I was a family practitioner first 10 years, right? I'm an MD who got sick. So the only way that conventional doctors know how to deal with multiple symptoms all over your body without a diagnosis is a medication or procedure for every different one of those symptoms. So then you get into medication or procedure hell. Oh, you got hormone problems. Let's remove your uterus. Oh, you got thyroid problems. Let's go ahead and remove part of your thyroid that has the nodule. Oh, you got this hip joint problem. Let's do a hip replacement. So the problem is that you're going to get, the solution is not going to lay in the conventional approach, because that's going to be band-aiding, whack-a-moling every single symptom. And this is where you end up with 20, 30 meds, 20, 30 different specialists, and nobody's talking to each other, and you're getting worse and worse because these medications themselves can have side effects, or they don't work, or they interact with each other. That's like a whole set of hell, right? So there's many problems with the conventional approach to someone with multiple symptoms that are without a diagnosis. And I already just told you why that's problematic. So forget about a conventional approach, meaning like if part of that's working for you, keep it. But for the parts that for you that aren't working, I really am going to tell you the answer is in a functional medicine root cause approach. Okay. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, go ahead and join our Facebook group, Transform Autoimmune Disease Naturally, because in the Facebook group, I have literally hundreds of videos on what is a functional approach to autoimmunity or any inflammatory or autoimmune mystery illness. Check out YouTube because I have hundreds of videos there as well. Follow me on Instagram because I'm constantly posting content about this very issue.